Hi, everyone. So we have a new family member now. No, it's not a human because, yeah, right. It is a kitten and he's 2 months old. And I wanted to get on here today just to chat about like my decision-making process when it comes to integrating new animal members into the animal family and how much thought has been going into this one single decision for months and months. And I'm hoping that maybe this is relatable. I'm also really hoping that, I mean, if it is relatable to somebody, can you please let me know? I'm sorry I always ask for like these emails, but like, um, I spend a considerable amount of time making decisions when it comes to the livelihood of our cats. Um, I don't know if anybody else does this to this extent. So I just wanted to share a little bit of that. And, like I am struggling with talking, so I will try to make as much sense as I can. Anyways, so Alicia let me name him. She ended up posting something on Facebook saying that we're looking for an orange kitten to add to our family. And her friend responded right away and was like, I have a 2 month old and he's bicolored, orange and white. Oh my God, I've never had like half of a white cat before. White fur is so pretty on a cat. But it's at the root an orange cat, so he's got the orange personality. But anyways, so I had pretty much less than 24 hours to prepare. No, maybe we had 2 days. I don't remember. 2 days? This was like last week. No, maybe a day. Um, Whatever. It wasn't a lot of time to prepare for, like, a new family member, but, anyways, what led up to see, I told you my talking, sorry about that. What led up to us getting a kitten was me finally deciding that our 3 cats are ready for a new one. Now, if you haven't been following along, way back in April of this year, it's August currently, the end of August. Back in April, my soul kitty Hades died. He was 15, he was my best friend, and he was like the patriarch of the cat family and left a huge hole in this family. The cats, they weren't the same for that. They actually still kind of aren't the same. Um, but it was, I don't know, about 4 months into not having Hades around, um, I realized that the cats were starting to get into a routine. They didn't seem quite as mopey. They had more energy in them. And then I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. But then there would come some times where one of our cats, his name is Caesar, he was Hades' best friend ever. Hades raised that cat. Caesar was obsessed with him. So Caesar is the most affected, in my opinion, by the absence of Hades. And so after the 4 months, when I determined in my mind that the kids might be okay with having a new cat family member now, because I didn't want to just throw one in while they're going through the grieving process because that's a dick move. Um, but Caesar has still been struggling at night, and nighttime is when he was always with Hades. Everywhere Hades went, he was there. And so Caesar still struggles. And I've had this sense of like, he just feels lonely because orange cats are very sociable. They like to be around other cats, other humans, and the other two besides him, one is 7 and he's a loner, and the other one is like 12 and she's also a loner. And so those two don't really like to be too sociable with other cats. They just coexist amicably. And so poor Caesar he doesn't know what to do. He keeps coming to me. But anyways, I had been back and forth, like, do we get a new one? Do we not? Do we? Do we not? Do we not? And then, like, I finally woke up one day not too long ago and I was like, I'm done going back and forth. I have made the decision that, like, we are ready for, like, a new kitten or whatever. Um, because I don't know, it's like, I feel like I can read animals pretty well. Um, and I can sense things. I don't know, it feels kind of weird saying that and kind of embarrassing, but like I feel like I can sense things with animals. And I really wanted to make sure that my gut was telling me that they would be okay with a new cat. Um, and it did. And so I told Alicia, we got to get one because now that I'm not going back and forth, I've realized that like we at least have one really lonely cat that needs a friend. And so that's how that decision was made. And then we find out we're getting her friend's little 2-month-old orange and white cat. So Alicia was nice enough to let me be the one to name him. I was like, oh, thanks. Because I always just want to name them myself. I want to always choose the names, but I know that's not fair. And I'm pretty sure she let me do that because, Hades was my guy and this is the new edition. And so I went with the name Philemon. It's Philemon, and it's Greek for kind, wise, warmth. It's actually pronounced Philemon from what I saw, but that's gonna be hard for me to say, so I'm gonna just call him Philemon and Phil for short. Now, yes, that is a very unusual name, perhaps, but there was a whole thought process behind that one. So it took me 3 hours that Thursday night last week, the night before we got that cat. Took me 3 hours to sift through all of the names that didn't sound like Hades because like I think I just said this, I don't remember. But like I like to stick with Greek and Roman names for animals. And like just a quick tangent, when I was a kid, Xena Warrior Princess, I got obsessed with that show. And then I got obsessed with like the gods. Sorry, this is like a tangent, whatever. Uh has nothing to well, it kind of does. Anyways, I was obsessed with the show. And I got really into Greek gods, like mythology, like the Roman stuff. That's back in the day when encyclopedias were pretty much what everybody had. So I would sit there and read the fucking encyclopedias and look up like who is Zeus? And like just learn about all of this stuff about Greek mythology or whatever. And it got to where I was like in a class, I don't remember what grade I was in. It was not high school, so it had to be elementary. And I was in this class. I don't remember what the subject was, but there was on the wall a huge poster of the names of Greek gods and goddesses. And there was also a huge one of the Roman ones. But like I was like, I really need to have these. So I hatched a plan in my little mind and basically like just figured out when to go to that classroom where nobody was going to be in there and the door wasn't going to be locked, and I snatched that big ass Greek poster thing off the wall, rolled it up, like got it home, and then I didn't even think to like what am I going to say to my parents when they're like, well, where did you get this? I don't remember what I said. Maybe I said like it was given to me. I know I lied. Because I was not gonna admit that I just stole something. Um, but anyways, yeah. And then it was kind of funny to me when like the next day the teacher was like, well, what happened to that poster? And it was like this big thing. I don't know. And then I plotted to try to get the Roman one so I could bring that home and study it. But like it didn't seem like it was gonna pan out, so I just settled with the one that I took. And I decided when I was a kid, I'm gonna name all of my animals um Greek or Roman gods or goddesses name. Like, I don't know, it's ridiculous, but that's what I decided in my little mind. So I had hamsters. I would name them like not even real mythological people. Not even I don't know if the anyways, I don't know what I'm saying. Like I had a hamster I named Callisto. That was simply because I liked that name on that show, Xena Warrior Princess. Um, I've had a cat named Zeus. Um, you know, I don't know. I like to stick with that. I think there was maybe one animal I didn't name, but that's neither here nor there. But anyways, that's why I like to just kind of stick with that. And it sounds better than calling a cat like, here, Snowflake, here, Snowflake. or like Poofy, or like whatever dumb names people give their animals. And if you happen to have like a name like that you gave your animal, I'm sorry. You're excluded from that comment I just made. So anyways, where am I with my story? I don't remember. But I think that's how I explained why I named the cats the way. I can't go back and re-record. I have tried so many times. I'm just gonna keep going. So it took 3 hours to look through every fucking male. I tried gender neutral, but couldn't find a whole lot for like the Greek names. I did not want a name that sounded anything like Hades because that would upset me. I don't want to just because I wanted to name a cat Aries like so bad. I wanted my next cat to be Aries, but it sounds too close to Hades, and it would just remind me of like my soul kitty every time I say it. And the kids, it would sound like that to the kids too, probably. So my goal was to just pick a name that had a good meaning behind it, like a good story, and that didn't sound like Hades. I went through like Hermes, like all of these ones, right? And then I got to this little list after 3 hours of like 7, 8 names. Then I had to like cut that down in half because I didn't realize that half of those names sounded like Hades. Um, then I had decided like maybe Poseidon would be a good name. Like, hey Poseidon. And then I thought, well, like, wouldn't his nickname be Pussy or something? I don't know why I thought that. And I told Alicia, like, that I was thinking about Poseidon, but like his nickname would be Pussy. And she's like, no, it would be Posy. Where do you get Pussy from Poseidon? Like, I don't know. And then I decided Poseidon was going to be too hard to say. And I don't want to say Posy. Like, it's just, like it's a serious undertaking trying to figure out how to like bring a cat into the family and like figure out just the right name and like plus not be reminded of my dead fucking soul cat like every time I say that name. So I we settled on Philemon, and it's got a ring to it, I suppose. So this past weekend, Alicia and I holed up in my room. Like we basically just lived here in my room, and she left to go to sleep and whatever. And we shut my door and we just kept the baby in here, so that we can slowly integrate him into the house. And the family and stuff. And that went well. And then we did the slow introduction with like the rest of the family. And I don't know if anybody else does this, but like I watch the other cats like a hawk. Like I look to see like their tail wag. What does that mean? Does that mean they're getting ready to strike? Does that mean they're pissed? I look at like what's going on with their face, and I don't know. I just want to make sure like I'm understanding like how this is happening. Does this make sense? I feel kind of ridiculous, actually. Where am I with time? Oh God. Um, I don't even know how this sounds, but like this was quite a process. Um, because I wanted the introduction to go well. I didn't like in my mind, I had it to where I assumed the worst in all of our cats, and I just assumed they were not going to like him, and it was going to be this big thing because my mind always likes to go to like worst case scenario. And Morpheus is our asshole cat. He's very kind, but not to other cats. Um, I mean, he doesn't fuck ours up or anything, but he just doesn't like to be social. And if a cat tries to be social with him, he ain't having that. So I thought that maybe we would have to make sure he didn't kill the kitten. I thought because Morpheus is huge. Um, Here's another tangent, just real quick about the huge thing. So like I knew that this cat was coming, and when it came here, I wanted the cats, the 3 that we have, to make sure that they were still loved. I didn't want them to feel like, "Oh, we don't love you anymore. We love this other kitten more." So, like, I gave them some extra soft food as a snack. Like, I would take 1 tiny can of Fancy Feast and split it between the 3 of them, and they would eat that like it's a treat, remember? Like, because 'cause I'm too lazy to plus that shit's expensive. Keep buying all that soft food, and you have to stop what you're doing during the day to feed all these cats. Like, no, thank you. But anyways, I gave them a little bit more than like I usually do, and I swear I woke up and it was like overnight. All 3 of them doubled their in size. They were fucking fat. I didn't even think I gave them that much, but I mean, I guess I did because I was giving them like human food too, like chicken, because it's protein or whatever, you know. And Alicia was nice enough to notice and not really say anything until I did. Like our cats were fucking fat, man. They've since gone back to about their original weight. Um, I really know cats, but I really don't know like common sense. Like, don't feed them extra. They could gain weight. I didn't know it would happen that quickly. But anyways, so like that happened too. Cause I'm sitting here trying to make sure that like I take into account their feelings. And are you feeling jealous? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling like your home's being invaded and you really don't like it? And so it turns out all of that preparation for their bad attitudes was for nothing because they have welcomed him into this family. And nobody is really cuddling up with him yet or getting too close. But like Morpheus especially is like he's like being like a protective daddy. It's weird and nice to see. Um, and I kind of want to say this, and I am embarrassed to say this. So maybe if somebody's out there hearing this and like this has happened to you, to you, maybe you can email me. Because this really did happen. So like I was sitting out in the living room, like the third night we had him. It was like the first or second. It was the second night that we had allowed him to just kind of roam the house and mingle with the other cats. And so I'm sitting in the living room with Phil, and Caesar and Xena are in there. And there was just this moment where I looked at Xena and I looked at Caesar, and they both were looking at me at the same time. And I had this overwhelming sense of they've accepted the cat into the family. Oh my God, I feel so embarrassed that I just said that. But like it really happened. I felt it. Like I don't know how to explain it any better than that. I just knew in that specific moment they had both accepted him. They decided, yes, we would like him to be a part of this family. Does that sound dumb? Um, and it's like all I can say is it's a huge relief, and pretty much he's filling a hole that we've had. The cats don't feel very lonely anymore. They kind of like having a new little kitten around. They're curious, and Caesar is definitely interested, and he's maybe like a day or two away from starting to cuddle with the baby. But like there's just so much thought that went into this. And I don't understand people who are like, okay, let's just go get a kitten, and then like you just go get one, just one that, you just go to it, look, oh, this one looks good. Let me get this one and bring it home. And like, you don't put all this thought into it. Like, I don't understand people that are like that. I treat animals like they're sacred, especially cats, because cats have been the only creatures in my life that have unconditionally loved me. Um, I've only ever experienced that with cats. And I know that you cat people and probably you dog people too, you know what I'm talking about. Unconditional love from an animal is the best feeling in the world. And I think a better feeling would be if that could translate into a human. If I could get unconditional love from a human, like, oh, like on a regular basis, just accept me, get me, understand me, love me. And cats do that without fail. Every relationship I've ever had with a cat, except for one, um, that cat was a real dick. That was in the military. That's another story. Maybe I told it before. I don't know. But like, just except that one, she was a little bit off in her head. That cat. But I've had good relationships with all of the other ones. And I take them seriously, and I don't know, like, my mind feels crazy from all the thinking I did about, is this gonna work? And what if this happens? What am I gonna do? And what if that happens? What am I gonna do? And then going into data gathering mode with the other three, like, oh, okay, do they seem to like him? Do they not? Like, are they gonna attack him when I'm not around? Like, what's gonna happen? This is ridiculous. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I should have even recorded this episode, but like, I just feel like I put like a month's worth of thinking into like 4 days. I mean, when I got to the decision of like, yes, we can have a new one, the kids will be okay, I just went into like, I just was like in my head and I wanted to make sure this worked. And I honestly, like, I do, I had always said this already, but I feel embarrassed that I'm saying all of this. I feel like I sound like a wacko, like I'm obsessed with cats or something, even though I am obsessed with cats. I'm not gonna lie. I'm obsessed. Um, and also I think this guy is gonna be my new pal. He's so smart. I could go on and on about this fucking cat, and I probably will save some of that for another time. But like I feel myself like I've cried a couple of times. Um, like I cried during that moment I described earlier where like I felt that the cats had accepted him. And Morpheus does too. He just wasn't in the room when I felt that from the other two. But I cried then because like that's all I wanted was for this to work and for the three that we have to feel happy and to maybe have some hole filled a little bit from Hades being gone. And then like I'm in my room on my laptop doing some work and I've got the baby. He's in the cat tree that Hades occupied. And I kept it because sorry, this is another tangent. When when I've lost people, like people have died and I've had pets that have died, my go-to reaction in the past has been to throw out every single thing that will remind me of that person or that animal. Anything. I would keep nothing because the feelings were so unbearable that, like even when Princess died, which was Hades' brother or sister, she died like 3, 4 years ago. I got rid of just about I got rid of everything. Her favorite toy, everything. And I know that sounds horrible, but like it just looking at those things were making like I couldn't stop crying. I didn't want the constant reminders. She did scratch the paint on the wall really, really good in a couple of places. And one of those places we're gonna frame around it because like that is hurt. I'm gonna keep those claw marks. But anyways, since then, I don't do that anymore. Um, that's probably like a whole other issue for another episode of why I do that or did that. But I kept this tree that Hades pretty much lived in the entire time we had him. And I felt okay about it, and I feel okay that the new guy's in it. Is that weird? But anyways, I was talking about crying. So like I'm in my chair on my laptop doing some work, and he'll crawl down from that cat tree onto me and just look up at me. Like he did that the other night, just crawled down, looked in my face, and I know we were bonding. And he's just like so innocent, this little kitty, and I just started crying. Oh no, I'm gonna do it now. This is so cheesy. But I just started crying. I was like, "Oh my God. Like, are you like, do you love me?" Like, are you Hades reincarnated? No, you're not, but you never know. But like just the way that this baby was looking at me, I felt like we were connecting and I was like, "You're gonna be my new best friend, aren't you?" And it's not that I don't love the other cats, but like I was used to having just Hades. Sorry. So this is how happy I am that this is working. Oh my God, I'm crying over this. What the fuck? But like this is how happy I am that like all of this thinking and this preparing and this like trying to is this gonna work or not? Because like it's not just like a hole with the cat family that this cat's filling, it's like a hole in me too. Because like I've been pretty lonely without Hades. Like when you have like an animal that just loves you so much and wants to be with you all the time, everywhere you go in the house, the animal wants to follow you. They're just the greatest feeling in the world. It just is. And then I had that taken away for several months, and it's like, man, I miss that. And turns out Phil is gonna end up being a cat like that because he's already following me around the house, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and end this episode here because I feel a little bit ridiculous. And I didn't realize I was gonna get upset over this, which it's fine. Feelings are feelings, but um if this is relatable, you've got to let me know because now I'm considering not publishing it, but 25 minutes? No, I gotta publish this. I hope that there's something that you can get out of this. I was trying to make this episode make more sense than it probably did, but this is as good as it's gonna get. The next episode I'm gonna do is about the anxiety I have with conversing with my 11-year-old niece and how that's been going, and because she's autistic too. Um, so I've got a bunch of stuff to say about that. That I think would be a little bit relatable for some people, maybe. Anyways, thank you for listening. Please email me and tell me that you do this too with cats or whatever. And if anybody wants to go over to some Substack, like I'm not good at promoting myself. I'm on Substack. Go over there. There's a link in the description, and you can read stuff if you've just found out that you're autistic, like if you're not listening in order and you just found out. If you go to Substack, like I have some stuff you can read that maybe you'll see yourself in some of my words. There's a bunch of other autistic writers on Substack that I highly recommend. Like you read their shit because they're so good. And it's just a place where I find a lot of validation. Just it's this nice community and I feel so seen and I interact with other autistic people. It is just so awesome. I love it so much and I would love it if you would come over too. I also have a course it's about oh my god. Just go to the links in my description cuz like my talking is starting to go away. So okay, thank you. Bye.